Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about how I paid off almost $40,000 in student loan debt. So let's jump right into it. So at the introduction of Margin, as I launched this resource in order to help you transform your personal finances, I explained my journey a bit when it came to my college career. Now, originally I wanted to become an architect, so I began the process in college and realized quickly that the market was absolutely terrible for that field. Now, I had to pivot, even though that was what I wanted to do. I had to pivot and I decided to go the business route instead. So I started to pursue a degree in accounting and found that, well, like many, I hated accounting. So I just decided from that standpoint to pursue an undergraduate degree in operational leadership instead. Now, I loved my classes related to international business, behavioral economics, as well as banking. Now, once I graduated, I decided to immediately enroll in a graduate degree program, and I got my MBA in finance. Now, the majority of my student loans came from that one decision, from pursuing that program and not actually having scholarships, directly for that program. But what I did is I went through a process of figuring out what my break-even point was and what kind of pay I would receive once I had that degree. And so I made the decision to go ahead and pursue that, even with the economic climate that I was graduating in. So when I ran the numbers, I had between a 1 and 2 year break even in exchange for that degree. So that degree actually took me 1 year to go through. I did like summer, fall, spring, summer, and I was done. So it was fast paced. It was accelerated, but it was well worth the time. So I have no regrets about either degree, as the combination of the operations and finance fields or fields of study have contributed greatly to the roles that I've held and the businesses that I've started. Now, once I graduated, I allowed for a level of lifestyle creep to set in. I guess you could call it that. Whereas I bought a new home, I went through the process of absolutely gutting it, remodeling it, furnishing it. And well, with that, I increased my lifestyle before even paying off that debt. Now, this was a mistake of mine, and that's mainly because you just shouldn't allow for lifestyle creep associated to a new job or an increase in income to derail you from playing good defense. And what I mean by a good defense is you need to look at the loans that you have and be intentional about paying off those loans that are a liability to wealth generation. And in that case, for me, it was a liability to wealth generation because I was paying so much on a monthly basis. Now, one evening I remember it distinctly, sitting in my bedroom, sitting on the corner of my bed, and I was reviewing all of my payments for that month. I had a mortgage at the time, I had student loans, I had vehicle loans, so I had a car loan, I had home equity line of credit because of the renovations I just did, I had credit card debt, and so I was going through that, and I was like, well, I know that this is normal and many people have these types of debts, but I don't want to have this debt hold me back from being able to save more for retirement savings or be able to invest in businesses or so on and so forth. So I had to make a decision. I needed to make a decision that would very much so change how I would deal with my personal finances. So knowing that I didn't want to just work in order to pay these bills, I made the decision to go ahead and list my home to sell. I ended up living, in the house for a couple years and absolutely loved it. I loved the location and I loved the part of town and so on and so forth. And since I had remodeled the whole place over that period of time, I literally waited until my contractor got done with the full remodel, and then I listed it that same week that it was actually completed. Now, with these proceeds, it started the process of basically applying that to debt pay down. Now, this was a part of a process that I went through in order to change my habits, my routines, how I viewed the ideal life that I wanted to live, and what needed to change in order to reshape my reality. Now, this process was so difficult for me because it was something that required that I almost go backwards before I can go forwards. So I believe this decision was amongst many at the time that I wanted to, basically use as a springboard or a catalyst of sorts in order to shape that new reality that I wanted to see. Now, this decision spurred my push to have all my debt paid off within 2 years. And having that goal hit ahead of schedule, in my case, for that debt payoff, ended up really propelling me forward with other decisions of what else I could accomplish in short amounts of time that I may have thought previously were unattainable. So you've probably heard it said before that you win at what you focus on. So having a goal that you are always working toward will allow for you to redirect your focus toward making decisions that support that ultimate goal. Now, I believe that so many people don't accomplish what they set out to accomplish, mainly because they don't have clarity around what they're actually trying to accomplish. And I believe that lack of clarity is a mother of sorts of indecision. And so what ends up happening is you have no clarity, and so therefore you don't make decisions, therefore you don't move towards that goal that you believe that you have, that you want to accomplish. Now, this 2-year goal was one of many along my journey. Whether it was education focused of like how much time it would take me to get through school, whether it was debt payoff, whether it was funding an emergency fund, whether it was promotions or investment goals, I used this same tactic to basically shorten the timeline of what I could accomplish in what amount of time. So it allowed me to accomplish a lot more in less time because I had that goal and that's what I was focused on. So in order to accomplish this though, you and I both need a good why. A good why to get out of debt, to build margin, or to fulfill some other aspect of your ultimate vision. So my call to action today is to look at what goal you can focus on that's uncomfortable or may seem impossible at the current time. This goal may be something that you can set for a shorter period of time to achieve and create a positive feedback loop of sorts to enable you to find one goal after the next that you want to accomplish and to shorten the timeline to see really what you can accomplish in shorter amounts of time and really build up that positive momentum. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.